cliche is a grumpy man that busts his ass at work and comes home. He's yelling at everybody. That's normal, Mama K. Men are just grumpy like that. That's normal.
You are so stereotyping. You are stereotyping so many different men because when they're not every man is the same.
I didn't say every man. When did I say every?
Well, you're like generalizing.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Have you heard the expression "art imitates life"?
Art imitates life. Yes.
Yes. Have you heard of George Jefferson? Have you heard of Al Bundy? Have you heard of
yes.
What's his face from fucking
Rock?
Archie Bunker? Okay. Were all these men fucking Tim the Toolman Taylor, the cop from Family Members, Carl Winslow. You understand? All these men were grumpy as shit. All of them yelled at some point. Yelled at their wife and yelled at their fucking kids. If you've ever grown up around your grandfather, your great grandfather, these men weren't chipper and nice all the time. They got home, they got in motherfuckers' asses because they wanted shit the right way. That's normal. That's normal, Mama K. As long as he's not the great, you piece of fucking worthless shit. As long as he's not doing that. But if he's gonna get pissed off and frustrated with some shit and raise his voice, that's normal for men, Mama K.
Yeah, but the way he does it is not okay. And the way that he does demean her is not okay.
How does he demean her then? Give us an example.
Exactly what you were just saying. He calls her names and tells her worthless. That she's not enough.
Okay, well, that's a
wait a second. Nobody said that. No. This I know this.
Hold on, Mr. 25-year-old that I'm writing off on my tax deduction.
No. This is so I know. You don't have to lie. I knew exactly not to call her that because I knew you're gonna lie about it because you're not fucking discriminated against that. I did not call you anything against like that. So why would you say that? I think you're such a shameless, just a horrible person. Terrible thing you're doing, Mama K. Horrible. You should have said the truth.
I'm not doing it.
It's such a bad thing to do.
Come on. They call someone a horrible person off of this conversation. I don't think that's
no. Done. Believe me, I will have you banned from this app faster than you can even think.
Do you really think nobody gives a fuck that you're gonna ban something?
All right. Yo. Let's get back to the root of the conversation.
Did they get therapy to say gay or gay?
Yeah, for a year and a half. Every Wednesday.
Okay, that was my only question. So if they tried, it doesn't work?
Together. They did it together and separately.
Okay, that's wonderful. If you try something, so I agree with Sig the whole time. I really wish people stop walking away and stop thinking just of themselves and think of their children as well. And you don't want another man, fathering your children. And you don't, as a mother, you don't want another woman doing it, so if they just think of it, but I do agree. I think they should really try, especially like I said, no one's hitting and all of that, really try. But I know it's hard for them to see until they experience. So I hope that they do a brief separation and realize that there really isn't, and there's time for them to work things out. Because, I do agree, and I'm the 14th child, and all my siblings are married, and I see, what goes on, and I think I'm grateful that my parents didn't raise me in such a Disney world. Because I always say my dad definitely was in charge of the house. My mother ran the hell out that house. And it was a mutual respect, but when we start doing tit for tat, which is very common in early start of marriage, the tit for tat thing, but it fades. It really does. So, but, they have to go on their own journey, but it is what it is. When someone has their mindset, they have to do what they do for them. But I just hope they find their way back to each other and they both get the help.
I agree, Mama K. I'm telling you, man, the amount of trauma going to be presented to these young, small children by splitting that household is going to be worse. And again, we're all adults here, okay? There might be some frustration on his part. Again, I'm not making excuses for the man's behavior. Okay, I talked to so many fucking men over the past 10 years. Their stories, I've lived it. Okay, I was married for 20 years. I didn't divorce my wife until my kids were grown. right? And I went through more hell than what you just explained in my marriage, 20 years of marriage. But my thing is I'm going to induce more trauma and more bullshit in my kid's life if I split this home and family up while they're young. I'm the one that laid down with their mother. I made the conscious decision. They had nothing to do with it. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be put in this situation. Therefore, that means I have to be an adult and just deal with the decisions that I fucking made. As long as nobody's beating the fuck out of somebody, as long as there's no rampant cheating, no STDs, no pregnancies outside the marriage, none of that shit. I'm sorry, Mama K. The best advice, and again, do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do. You know, it's a free country. You do whatever you want to do. And like, again, I appreciate your candidness and honesty in this conversation, but she just needs to put on her big girl pants and suck it up. You signed the contract. Deal with it. It is what it is. But don't put that on them kids and poor babies. They didn't ask for that.
Do not suck it up if he raises his hand. Don't do it.
Yeah, and I respect your space in here, Sig, in the masculine mansion. Thank you for having us women in here. But you have to hear our side. Like, you want to go from the man's side all the time, right? Do you not think all of us think about the man's side?
You don't.
Right?
You don't.
A bunch of us.
Statistically, you don't, Beth. Women have no idea what men go through or understand a man's journey in life.
See, real quick, just remember ESPN 30 for 30 broke. How many of these women took athletes to the cleaners and they went bankrupt? Well, they did a lot of stuff. They take them to the cleaners and divorce, and like the man's left with nothing. It's over half.
I'm working on that, Nick. Shut up. Don't tell my sideline plan. Okay, well, that was on the corner booth. But, I mean, you have to listen to it from the women's point of view. And I've been listening to you. And you just keep coming back of, pretty much, you had a 20-year marriage. Cool. I have now been in 23 years of marriage. We're divorcing. That's fine. But it was like what you're saying coming out of your mouth is that I should have just sat back for those 23 years, kept my mouth shut, let him do whatever he wanted to do. Well, guess what? Kids grow up. Kids learn stuff. And my kids knew what their dad was doing, and I was not going to stand back and raise my children that way.
How old were your kids when you got divorced, Beth?
We are not even divorced yet. But when I kicked them out of my house, they were. When I kicked out of my house, my son was about to turn 18, and my daughter was 14. There are kids. But, no. You know what? Sometimes women have to use their voice. No, you men cannot just run around and do whatever the fuck you think you can do and then think we're going to sit back and deal with it.
Right, and again, you can have that mentality, that's fine, but most of y'all, 90% of y'all that have that mentality are fucking miserable after you make that decision.
I'm not miserable.
Bullshit, man. Let's not even go. I'm trying to be nice. It's Christmas. Don't even tell that fucking lie. Beth. Whatever. See, motherfuckers be lying. Motherfuckers be lying, bro. If we're gonna have this conversation, we gotta be honest. And this is the problem with women.
Yeah.
Guys aren't fucking honest. Because if we
you
want to be honest, we can fucking be
miserable?
honest. We can be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Someone that's happy isn't drunk every fucking day. That's just not the case. Let's just be real. Let's keep it fucking 100%. People who are happy with their life aren't fucking drunk every goddamn day, Beth. Let's just keep it.
Sorry, what?
Because y'all be lying, man. Y'all fucking lie. And this is crazy. We can't even be adults and have an honest fucking conversation.
No,
because
it's
you're
absolutely true.
throwing it back.
And to sit here and say you have to listen to the women, that's all I did. And I actually cleared the stage to listen. And I even shut other men up and said, shut the fuck up and quit making assumptions so we can actually hear what she's saying and actually absorb what she's saying and not make assumptions. So to sit here and say, well, you have to listen to what the women are, that's what we've been doing the whole time, Beth. I've literally heard her, and I've asked her questions to get the details of her story to make sure we're getting everything crystal clear from her perspective and her side. So that's not fair.
No, I got you. No, believe me, dude. I back you up.
Right, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but look, this is part of the problem is we're lying, yo. We gotta be honest about this shit. This is part of the fucking problem. We're telling lies. And I'm sorry, man. 3 years of dating, talking to over 200 women, okay, and I've heard their story. They're fucking miserable out here. They're fucking miserable. And most of them regret leaving their fucking husbands because now that they're on the other side of the fence, they're realizing it wasn't that fucking bad. I could have worked through it.
Right.
This is the reality. This is the reality.
But that's the part you're missing, Sig. I didn't leave my husband. I kicked his ass. No, I did not, little Mr. 25-year-old. I kicked his ass. I kicked him out of my home because he was sleeping with somebody outside of our marriage. And that doesn't work.
But you kicked him out, Beth. You did break it up. That's no different than getting a divorce. The only difference is there's no ink on paper. But you kicked him out of the house. That's the same thing. The family is broken up, Beth. It's split at that point. And that was you doing that. Now, look, I'm not, look, hold on. We're going to have a conversation.
How many times did I let that man have a chance to come back into my home? It
doesn't matter. The point is once you got to a point where you were fed up, you initiated kicking him out, aka the divorce. The only difference is you don't have it legally on paper, but you guys are pretty much divorced. You're just waiting on some wedding to hit the white paper. That's it.
Okay.
But let's just keep it real. Let's fucking keep it real. And look, Beth, I'm not saying you're wrong or right for what you did. You are the one that determines what you're willing to take and put up with. Okay, that's your life. I'm not judging you either way. Okay, it's not my life, not my family, whatever. But all I'm asking for, if we're gonna have this conversation, let's just fucking be honest here. I'm sick of these women trying to play this off like, oh, they divorced their husbands and broke up their families, and they're all fucking just prancing around like they're on fucking cloud nine, and it's not the case. I'm sorry, the suicide rates are going up with women who are divorced and single and split, right? The SSRIs, the psychiatric medication is skyrocketing through.
Yeah, you can see it in the eyes.
We got enough data. We got enough. Like I said, I can go on TikTok. I can go on Instagram. I can go on Facebook right now, and there's just thousands and thousands and thousands of women who are pouring their fucking heart. There's more women pouring their fucking hearts out, saying how miserable they are after they made that decision, Beth, to break up their family, than there are women who are saying, oh, this is the best thing in my fucking life.
Here's where my problem is, Sig. Right now, you're trying to throw this back on me that I broke up my family. I didn't. I took a stand for my family.
You kicked him out. That is, that's a split of your family.
Okay.
That's literally the definition.
But here's the deal. You mess up in the game of life, you're getting out.
That's fine.
Because those two kids in my PTR, guess what? I will battle to the end of the world for them.
Okay.
And I'm not going to allow anybody be around them.
What you're saying is moot, and it's not relevant to what the point was. The point is you initiated the kick out. Therefore, you initiated the split. Beth. You kicked him out of your own mouth. You initiated that. Now, if he kicked you out, then he would have been the one to initiate that.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, you made the defining move to break up that household by kicking him out. Before you made the decision to kick him out, you guys were still under the same roof as a married couple, whether he was cheating or not, whether you were cheating or not, whether you were using drugs, whether he was using drugs, it doesn't matter. The point is, you were the one that initiated kicking him out. That's the point. That's so everything else is irrelevant.
That's because my children deserve a better life.
I don't care why.
I don't know what world you live in.
Beth, this is where we're speaking past each other. I'm telling you what is based off of what you said. You're telling me why. We don't care why. The point is that you initiated the divorce, the kick out. That's the point, Beth. So anything else is irrelevant. It's moot. I don't care why you did. I told you that's your reason why. I can't knock you either A to B for that. Whatever reason, that's your reason and your decision. And you as a free American, you have that right. I have no problem with that. But what I'm saying is, you're the one that initiated the kick out. And this is the problem.
Do you think that I was going to sit around and allow my children to
I don't care.
mother?
I don't care, Beth.
I know
The
you
point
don't care
is,
because you
Beth. The
think
point is
that men should be able to go out and sleep with
no.
whoever they want.
What I
and the
think should
women
happen,
should
Beth,
sit
is I think grown adults, when they sign a contract, they should abide by that contract and not be selfish and put the kids through a bunch of fucking detriment. And by breaking up that family, we have decades of statistics showing, even with some dysfunction in the household, Beth, that kids are still better off under a two-parent household with the original biological parents, even with dysfunction, than they are splitting the family, Beth. There's a shit ton of evidence and data, decades of data that prove this, Beth. So I get it. You know people personally. I get it. Your feelings. I get it. What you're fed. I get that, Beth. But statistically, kids have the best advantage when they have two biological parents in the home, even if there's a certain level of dysfunction in that home, Beth. And that's irrefutable.
That is so not true, and I'm sorry. I have a master's degree in
I don't give a
psychology.
shit. Then what source shows that kids are better off in a split household between two different households, Beth? Please post that stat. Please post that stat, Beth. And this is what I'm talking about. We can't even have an honest fucking conversation. And you wonder why men are so grumpy? Because this is the bullshit. Running around in circles, backpedaling, skating around like oil on ice, just to have an honest conversation. This is why men get frustrated. This is why men get grumpy. Because we're trying to find viable solutions here to keep a family together, and all we keep getting is circular logic and bullshit. Based on feelings. And irrelevant points.
This is the generation we have to inherit. Like what? Two single mothers, a degenerate, an alcoholic,
Hello?
someone else that hates mothers, and one that has 2 fake degrees that nobody cares about, really. Nobody cares about any of this stuff at all whatsoever. I actually feel sorry for you, sick. Okay. Horrible people you have to deal with. Horrible.
No, first of all,
Horrible people.
I'm not gonna put
This is horrible
people.
people.
First of all, I'm not going to put a horrible person. You know who is a horrible person? Charles Manson, Timothy
True.
McVeigh,
True.
fucking
Yeah.
motherfuckers that abuse children. People. I'm not putting these two women in categories of horrible people. Just because we're having a discussion,
This is suspended.
So that's the road I'm not going to fucking go down. Because they're not horrible
What
people.
the fuck?
Okay? They're not bad people. We're all fucking human. We all fuck up. We make mistakes. We do dumb shit. All right? We're all fucking human. Doesn't make us bad people or horrible people. So that's not the road I'm going to travel or allow to put on these women's reputation, H.X. That's what I'm not going to do. Bottom line is,
I'd like to chime in. Hold on, please. I would, okay, but I am not speaking, you don't know me. You know my daughter's situation and that is it. You don't even know her.
Honestly, I don't even know the situation.
Right. Okay, well,
H.X. Let her get her point. I think she's got home to respond.
I'm just saying, you are over here calling people like me a horrible person when I'm not speaking about myself. I'm an amazing person and I've endured a lot. I'm a survivor and thriver of 16 years of domestic violence. I am an entrepreneur, a business owner, I am successful, and I'm happy. And I don't care what anybody else thinks about me, right? And I don't need a man. I have a man. But I don't need one to validate me. I don't need one who wants to run my life. I come and go as I please. And how much I make is none of his business, and how much he makes is none of my business. At the end of the day, we are a happy couple for 11 years, and we don't even live together. That's how my life is, and life is good. I've moved on from my abuser. I have found peace. But for you to call me a horrible person is very judgmental. And I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't give a fuck.
Obviously, you don't. You just want a booty. You want a woman with a big booty.
We've been listening. Wait a second.
And to look pretty.
We've been listening to women like you. Wait a second. We've been listening to women like you for the last 25, like the last 15 years, since I was like 9 years of age. Scum like you being like, well, yeah, as a man, you can listen to this. No, just wait a second. I don't care if you don't live with your partner or whatever you call them, and there's a reason why it's not your husband. I don't care. People like you are the worst of the worst. You've destroyed everything. You're horrible people, terrible people. And
You destroyed
you're the worst of the worst.
Jump in.
Just let me reply.
I
Like,
don't know why you guys
told
are
me
allowing
you
this to
Wait
happen.
a second.
Bye.
So
Why do you people
let's
so
ask
hard?
this question. Let's ask this question. A-Check, what makes her a horrible person?
People are terrible. Why?
What makes her a horrible person? Based off of what she
Because
said.
in the last 10 years, they've been like, as young men in university and stuff, think like women are this and this and that.
No, I'm saying in
women
this
are
A-Check, listen to what I asked you. I said in this conversation, what warrants them the judgment of being a horrible
because
person?
the arrogance, the way she was speaking, you didn't see the way she was speaking.
No, I didn't see the way she
You didn't say
she was literally answering questions, A-Check.
No.
She didn't even give her opinion on what. She didn't even give
I
her
don't think you
opinion.
understood.
She didn't even. No, because
These people are the worst. Sick. Honestly, brother, these people are the worst of the worst. I'm not sure you understand what you're dealing with. These people are like the devil. They're the worst of the worst people.
I'm telling
these people are so bad.
A-Check. Nah, bro. We ain't
You know what?
bro. We ain't calling nobody no fucking devil. Bro, you understand people, they don't have access to certain knowledge, bro. They don't have an understanding of things until they have these conversations. All right, people operate off of what they were taught, what they've learned. A-Check doesn't make them a bad person. A lot of people need to have these fucking conversations in order to learn the right path to take. So it doesn't automatically make them the devil. Yeah, fuck that shit, bro. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. She never even gave her opinion on which way she thinks her daughter should go. All she did was answer questions. That's all she did, bro. And that's not fair. It's not fair to call someone a devil or judge them as a horrible or bad person. That's not fair to do that. Not fucking fair. I swear to God, man, some of you religious people are fucking... I swear, man. I swear.
Well, Sig, the funniest part is he's telling us about for the last 10 years. Well, he was 15 10 years ago. Didn't he tell us he's 25? So, okay, cool. Awesome. You know what? Perfectly fine. But to go after my friend like that doesn't work for me. I'm not going to have a kid, which I call a kid because I know, say, you and KP and I, we have kids that are that age. To speak like that to an adult, no.
Well, it's not. I mean, I don't really give a fuck about that, Beth. It's the fact that, again, I want to be fair. All right, Mama K, you have not said anything that warrants you to be judged as horrible people or Satan. That's not being fair. Okay, it's not fair to you guys. Just because we disagree on certain things, we disagree on certain takes or opinions of certain things. I'm not going to allow someone to call you Satan or you guys aren't horrible people. Okay, we're just trying to connect here and get through this discussion. But A-Check, if you know me at all, I'm all about fair. Fair is top of my priority list, whether I agree with you or not.
It's true.
Whether you're my friend or not, it's about being fair. And I would do the same thing for you if someone was trying to judge you and call you Satan and a horrible fucking person when you haven't said anything to warrant that type of judgment. A-Check, I wouldn't allow it to happen to you either.
No, you're 100% correct. I'm a bit salty about what these people did. Graduating, everything else. I don't like these people. And I'm not going to say any terrible words against them, but I just think these people are just done the worst of the worst. And I just think, like, I'm trying not to say the word, but it's just, these people, man, it's just been the worst thing, bro. And I can't wait till I have my babies and everything else like that, and then I just have a good life in South Sudan, and I fish in the Nile River. But these people are just sick people, and I can't wait to stop dealing with these people. Or just the worst of the worst. And that's about it. So I don't like these people. I really don't like these people.
No, that's your right to not like certain people.
Yeah,
like, I'm not knocking you for that.
Terrible,
I get it.
terrible. Yeah.
But the only way we but this is a fucking problem, is we have grown-ass adults that sign contracts, and just because shit gets a little bumpy, a little uncomfortable, everybody wants to fucking bail out. It's called sucking it up, man. You know, our grandparents did it, our great-grandparents did it. They were at each other's fucking necks. They didn't agree 100% on everything. There were times where grandma, great-grandma hated our fucking grandpa and great-grandpas, right? And vice fucking versa. They were at each other's fucking throats. But for those fucking kids, it's about duty and responsibility. I get it, okay? You marry someone, now you're saying, I may not be compatible, or I really don't like this person too much. I get it. Wait till the kids are fucking grown. But again, no rampant cheating. He's not whooping your ass. He ain't fucking putting you and your family in dire financial fucking situations, right? He's not out gambling the fucking mortgage money, and you guys are now being forced and being evicted or foreclosed on and kicked out in the streets. None of that's happening, man. It's not that fucking bad, dude. It's just called being a fucking adult and completing your fucking contract. Once those kids turn 18 or they're out of the house, then you fucking split and you go on your happy merry way and do whatever the fuck you think you can do. But I'm just sick of motherfuckers, a little bit of uncomfortableness, and they want to break up their goddamn family, man. I'm sorry, dude. Ali, I saw your study in there. I think that's part of that new age bullshit. Because again, everybody had fucking problems, but they stuck it out, and we had a pretty damn decent society. No matter how much trauma or whatever bullshit, people managed to fucking suck it up and deal with it. We've got this new generation out. Anytime they're unhappy, they just want to bail the fuck out and throw everything up, throw everything up in the fucking air, and not commit to their fucking responsibilities. Sorry, find another room to fucking have that conversation, but I am not advocating for breaking up families with small children. I'm just not going to do it. But go ahead, Alan.
Well, I don't disagree with. I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is, I think there's a little more nuance here because obviously, two-parent household. If you just take all the households with children, obviously the two-parent households are going to be more successful. You're going to have more financial security typically. A lot of times, you know, a lot of those numbers for the single family probably have the children young. I mean, there's a lot of different, you know, input data points that go into that big overall. But if you break it down into just compare, and that's what this study did, just looking at high conflict. So think like you're toxic, you're really toxic two-parent household that is weighing on everyone, and the children are everyone's suffering, right? And compare that with a separated, you know, they divorce, and then there's maybe a step-parent, and things sort of, you know, stabilize. They compare that, then I think your argument gets, you know, you get some holes poked in it, because then you're really comparing, you're getting down to a nitty-gritty here. There is nuance here.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and that's why I asked those questions about what is the level of adversity in that relationship. And it sounds like, okay, dude doesn't want to fucking do woman duties, just like she doesn't want to do masculine duties. Like I said, if he said, babe, I need help with the gutters, I need help with the roof, I need help with the leaves, I need help with the, you know, with patching up some planks in the fucking deck, she's gonna look at him in disgust, like, that's not my fucking job.
Okay, so I was in and out, but did they she say it was 50-50 on the money, right?
Yeah.
Was it actual 50-50?
Yeah, she's a nurse. Okay. She said they make about the same, and as far as she knows, they make account, and it's 50-50. Yeah.
They both putting in the pot. It's kind of like a, you know, hey baby, we need to pay for this, we gotta pay for that. All right, cool. Listen, I hear what you're saying, Sig, and it is the overall, like, you know, people get so caught up in it. It's not all, most of the time, most cases, general, you know. But if they 50-50, I'm starting to feel like that. Like if they 50-50, and she just asked him to wash some dishes, this is definitely not a reason to break up the family. Absolutely not. But he need to fucking get up and help do some fucking dishes. Like, put some fucking towels in the laundry or something. If you 50-50, you know what I mean? And then as far as like, you know, doing manly work and shit, like, you know, man, ain't nothing like a chick that can like hand me them shingles. Like she can get up there and do some fucking gutters with them sometimes. Sometimes.
But how many women are gonna happily jump up and say,
I
"Oh yes, I'm right there with you, baby."
No, I don't give a fuck how happy you is. I ain't asking you to get up under these cars and do none of this real dirty shit. But look, hold this box of nails, or hold this fucking ceiling fan still while I hook up the wires. Like, you know what I mean? And that's bonding. You know what I'm saying? Like the little shit. Don't have your girl out there fucking fucking taking the engine out the car. You know, doing the nitty gritty shit. Don't ever doing that shit. But I mean, if she's capable, and let's say you running off to do a Home Depot run, and you need to stay on schedule, like the bitch better be able to put some staples and like know how to run a staple gun. Like, you know what I mean? I think there's some. Like the bitch gotta be able to do something. Like I don't want no. But at the same time, if they 50-50, I think it's reasonable for a woman to ask to do some of the domestic shit. And I'm learning this. Like learning from failure is a motherfucker, man. It's crazy. Because you get to live vicarious through everybody else. You get to fucking project all you want. You failed already. Now you know that you got hindsight. But I swear, in my first go around, my first time I got married, I would have definitely, if I could turn the hands, I would have definitely washed a little bit more dishes. I did all the manly shit. I was walking around poking my chest out. But when it comes to like just it's something about just saying you're gonna help your partner because you want to. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that, but you make that sacrifice. Like shit. Damn, I know the bitch was running around here, doing her job, running around in that hospital, nursing all day, or whatever job she got. Her feet look like she hurt. I'm gonna take this L tonight. I'm gonna wash these dishes, or I'm gonna take this L tonight. You know what? Dinner already made. Don't even trip. That reciprocity, give and take, I think it's got to be room for that too, and that can drive a motherfucker sick if they looking at you every day, and yeah, you doing all of the stuff you're supposed to do, but then she won't do nothing for you that she wants to do because she want to do it. If I'm making sense, like, can I get vulgar, or is it women?
Men, bro, you got freedom of speech.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it in a way that a man understands. Do you want your old lady to give you head out of duty, or do you want her to do it because she want to do it for you, like she wants to?
I mean, I'd rather have the latter, but she's gonna do it regardless. I mean, shit, I gotta pay these bills out of this, bro. Whether I want to or not, they get paid. So.
I pay, he suck. Simple day.
Oh my God, y'all niggas stupid, man.
I told my wife the same thing. I'm like, yo, I don't get to, because I don't feel like paying the bills. I don't feel like, I said the minute you go to search up something on your phone and you ain't got no Wi-Fi because I didn't feel like it. I wasn't in the mood. I said, you gonna kick my ass to the motherfucking curb, bro. You ain't gonna think twice about it. And this is what I love about talking to these women, because you let them run their mouths and they'll tell you all the times they left guys because the guy wasn't pulling his weight as far as a masculine male, and they had no problem kicking that nigga to the curb in 2 seconds later, right? But they don't understand that shit works both ways. The minute you stop doing your female duties, your female responsibilities, your ass gonna get booted the same way you booted them niggas when they weren't being men. You ain't being a woman, your ass gonna get booted too. This is the bottom line. You either get booted, or I'm gonna bring another bitch in this house to pick up your slack.
Ooh.
And then you make a decision. That's it. Bottom line. And I told my wife this to her face. I said, look, these are the fucking rules. I said, you start slacking, because if I slack, just like your boyfriend, why did you leave your boyfriend? Why? Because he fucking got fired from his job, became a fucking bum, and your pussy dried up and he lost interest. You kicked him to the fucking curb, quick, fast, in a hurry, and he begged for you to come back, and you told him to go fucking kick rocks, right?
Dang.
Why would I not do the same to you if you're failing in your female domestic duties? So again, I told my wife to her face, I said, you start slacking on your responsibilities, because I don't have room to slack. If I start slacking, you're gonna replace me. I'm gone. I'm done. You do the same thing, I'm gonna bring another, you're out, I'm gonna bring another bitch in this house to fucking, I have 2 wives, and she's gonna pick up your fucking slack. And if you don't like that, there's a fucking door. It's just how it is. I don't get the luxury of being able to step out of my duties, man, to absolve my responsibilities as a man. I just.
And it's just really simple. I pay, you suck the dick. And if I buy you extra dress, making sure you swallow it too.
I have a question. Is some of this cultural? Because I was just sitting here, like, kind of, you know, you keep talking about people quitting on marriages over, you know, superfluous, like, trivial type things and kind of dipping out pretty quick. But I'm sitting here kind of thinking, I've known a lot of divorced people. I'm just thinking through my Rolodex of divorcees, and I can't think of any of them. Maybe one. I could maybe think of one where it was like, maybe they could have tried harder, you know? But like most of them, except for that one that I'm thinking about, it took years, you know, and just painstaking and therapy and trying and you know, any number of things, you know, abuse, alcoholism, you name it, the gamut, right? I can't think of anyone except for that one example. It seems to me that most people that I know, it's not like they're just like, yeah, I'm over it, you know. It's horrible. It's torturous.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's bad.
Yeah, there's something about that. So it's something about the seeds too, like, because you know you can plant seeds early on, and you know when you're talking about like it's been going on for 10 years, you're talking about like that just that pent up, like it's that's a hard phase to go through. But the funny thing is, one thing Sig and them is right about is like back in the day they had a little bit more fortitude to get through them. You know, those because I poked my chest out like, oh yeah, I gave both of my relationships 10 years. We did 10, 10 and 10. So I gave 20 years of my life to 2 women, but there are people before us gave those whole 20 to one person. So it's like they had a little bit more fortitude. They went through phases. They went through the honeymoon phase.
We lose Blake?
Yeah, I think we lost you, Blake. We lost you to the Matrix.
Yeah, I think you're right, Blake. You're totally right. I'm just asking for a friend. Is there are there some cultural nuances here too at play where maybe are there some cultures within America, we're speaking from an American purview here, that are maybe a little quicker to bounce as opposed to others that maybe go through the fires and do all the things and they're leaving for, maybe abuse or serious infidelity ongoing. I don't know. I'm just asking, because like I said, I can't think of a lot of examples of like people who just are like, oh well, he sucks, he's lost his job, so I'm leaving. That's like not a thing that I've ever come.
Well, see this.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Sig. Yeah, just 1 second. This is hilarious. John, you little fucker. He's out there streaming this live on this room. And I can't find him in this space, but he is streaming it live right now.
Probably anonymous.
Yeah, it's probably anonymous. Which is fine.
Stinker bug.
It is what it is. Clubhouse is recording this and selling the data off, so John ain't doing no more harm than Clubhouse.
It's so interesting, right, to talk about this. John, you are a stinker bug. And you get a lot of content, maybe 3 views on YouTube or something. I don't know.
What it is, Holly, is again, it's a society of quitters. When things get tough, I just want to bail the fuck out, absolve any commitments I've made, responsibilities. Like I said, I'm not expecting 2 people who hate each other's guts to fucking stay together together forever. But at least for the goddamn kids, man, act like fucking adults, be cordial, raise these fucking kids, and then you.
You're a little stinker, huh, Beth?
Then do what you gotta.
You're a little stinker, Beth.
Over something so.
You want to listen to the replays? You can come back to the profile, listen to your replay, and then you can do some critical analysis of Beth. Is it a Beth problem? I was accused, Beth, you got accused of being a drunk. I mean, maybe, maybe you need to let it go. Maybe your husband that you want to divorce, you gotta let it go. Just a thought, Beth. You gotta think about it. Listen to the replay and think about it, Beth. Let it go, Beth. Just let it go, Beth. I'm not therapist option number 2 over here, Beth. I'm just the recorder, the guy that clicks buttons. Sig is your teacher. Sig is your master. And you should accept his graces, Beth. And listen to the replay. Do a little more critical self-analysis and grow a little more, Beth. Grow more than you ever thought possible, Beth. Super consciousness, Beth. You can grow your consciousness. Let it go, Beth. It's all fucking bullshit anyways. Don't worry about it, Beth. It won't matter when you all go through the same gate, the same door at the end. It wouldn't have made a difference, Beth.
Or foreclosed on because you're gambling the rent away, or what I've heard from several women, they come to find out their husbands were squandering all the money away on OnlyFans subscriptions and shit.
OnlyFans? It's not even real. It's just a bunch of spam.
On the fucking mortgage on a bunch of pussy and tail out around town and shit like that. I've heard that a million times before.
Beth, if you're gonna ask me to delete this, I hate to break the bad news to you, but it's like on 30 different platforms, so there's no deleting this, FYI. Hope you're not worried about it. I hope your husband's divorce lawyer doesn't find out about it.
Her daughter, again, this is the trap. Most women get caught up. They get the FOMO and they think the grass is green on the other side, and she thinks she's gonna go out there and find this knight in shining armor, because like she said, and this is why I was listening very keenly to what she said, her daughter waited till she was married to lose her virginity, right? And notice how she started off the story. Her daughter felt like she was sexual experiences. And how was she able to compare? Because of fucking social media.
Social fucking media, Beth.
And she's a nurse too, so I know she's around a bunch of hoes at that fucking hospital. That's what it is. I've seen plenty of women in the medical industry that are good women. They get around all the fucking hoes in that hospital and start hearing all them stories and think, oh my God, I'm missing out on so much fun. Oh my God.
Not the hospital hoes.
Yeah,
I have heard that.
I've heard
they're wild.
They're well. I've never seen any kind of nurse or teacher who's not jumping on different kind of things. Like,
here comes KP, he'll tell you.
like she said,
KP's coming up now, he'll tell you.
You said dicks and KP came in.
No, he said hoes. He said
No,
hoes.
he said dicks and KP got all excited, like, come on, here it comes. Now, did she say her daughter just called her and was just sort of venting and saying this stuff, or is her daughter like seriously pursuing?
Filed for divorce 8 weeks ago. Yeah, so her daughter's already filed for divorce. Like I said, man, they can do whatever the hell they want. I'm not trying to tell grown ass adults what to do, but again, this is, you hear the story a million fucking times, and 90% of the time it ends up going nowhere, and that woman ends up regretting it because she realizes once she gets out there, thinks she still has her sexual marketplace value like she had before she got married and had 3 kids. She thinks it's gonna be the same when she gets out there, and it's not. Dudes don't want to deal with 3 small children. And the dudes that are willing to do it, she's not going to respect them. She's not going to be attracted to them. That's just the reality of it, man. The dudes that she's attracted to, that she's going to want to settle down with, they don't want to take care of another man's fucking kids, especially 3 small children, because that man's going to want to get up and go. He's going to want to do some stuff. He's going to, and now I got to be subject to kids that aren't mine. All my plans are ruined and spoiled for kids that aren't mine. And then I got to deal with another man on top of it.
Yeah.
Like
it's the baby mama or the baby daddy drama that you got to deal with.
Right. And most men.
Right.
This ain't 30 years ago. Like, and I'll pose this question: do you see more stepdads now, or did you see more stepdads when you were growing up?
Now.
You see more stepdads now, Koala?
Oh no, I mean
in the United States.
Yeah, no. I mean, the humpers, they will hump anything. the sex. It's not like she's not gonna get the sex. She's gonna get a lot of sex.
She's gonna get a lot of sex. She's gonna get no fucking commitment. That's why I asked the question.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody I'm asked the question: do you see more stepdads now or back in the day?
No, men are
always
walking
say
right.
back in the day.
No, men are walking
right. Yeah, men ain't doing that shit no more, man. Most men aren't doing it. And the ones that are, you're not really gonna respect them because they're gonna lay down and be walked all over.
Wait,
it just is what it is,
back
man.
in the day, Sig, these stepdads were stepdads because these women were generally divorcing, and they were serious cases of domestic violence and stupid things, and they were like, or she was getting rid of her, and someone was stepping up, and that was called stepdad. Now, when you see these women are actually deliberately getting out of the marriage for the sake of experience, that's when I say, fuck that shit. I want to go inside, but I'm never gonna fucking marry this one. Because you can't. And you're never gonna be, as I said, Sig, you're never gonna be the first priority when she has kids. You always be like, they will team up against you. They always do.
Hey, so Dawn in the chat is saying, so weird, the convo was about how she's thinking about leaving her abusive husband. So was that part of the story? Was he...
After, and this is, I wanted to get to this, but we kind of went off the deep end with A-Check and stuff. But that was the thing. When she started off the story, she never mentioned abuse. And I said several times, well, it ain't rampant cheating. He's not fucking being abusive. And she never said a word until way later, the tail end of the discussion. Then she wants to bring up, well, he's emotionally abusive. After I asked her, I said, well, is there any kind of abuse? She said, well, he's emotionally abusive. Okay, why didn't you bring that up in the beginning? Because the only thing I asked her, I said, well, why is she leaving him? Well, because he doesn't want to help out with domestic duties. That was the only thing she said. She never brought up abuse until I started poking holes in her shit. And this is typically how it goes, man, is that they never mention it until you poke holes in all the other shit they bring up, and then they want to go back to now making it the worst case scenario. Why didn't you mention abuse in the beginning? And that's what I wanted to get in. Why didn't you mention that in the beginning? Why did you wait till the tail end after I poked holes in all your other bullshit?
Because she had nothing to validate the reason why.
She had nothing to validate. So then it's always emotional, financial abuse. Okay, well, how is he being emotionally abusive? Well, he yells at her. Okay, men yell. Dads are grumpy. Men are fucking grumpy. I'm sorry. There's not one household I've been in where the man at some point didn't yell at the wife and kids and tell everybody, hey, shut the fuck up. I need some goddamn peace.
Men are grumpy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Come on.
What is emotional abuse? You have to pinpoint.
Right. And then when I asked her,
I'm gonna expect.
Oh,
this is just me. Hold on,
Chief. Abuse is quite simple, Kate.
No, hold on, Chief. My thing is, she probably fat. And he's like, I'm tired of dealing with fat shit.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, KP, because I didn't get that far into it. But what it sounds like, and I'll tell you what it is she's a nurse, she has a degree, she has an education, and she's utilizing that to go out there in the workforce and make money. So now that she's exhausting her energy for a corporation and a boss that doesn't give a fuck about her, she now expects, hey, because I don't have the energy because I'm giving some of my wifely, motherly energy to a soulless corporation. Now
you had me as nurse.
Now you need to step in, husband, and do my domestic duties for me.
No, bro. No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Let me tell you something. Nurses are fucking hoes.
Absolutely, you had me at nurse.
Fucking hoes.
Well,
they got a bunch of motherfuckers they fucking. That nigga at home, he doesn't have a job.
No, he's got
That's
a job.
Pookie and Ray Ray.
No, they make about the same amount of money, KP.
No, bullshit. She lying.
Well, no. Here. Let me give you what she said. So, because I asked her all that stuff to get all the variables. So, they have a joint bank account. They make about the same amount of money. They're going half and half on everything, 50-50. She kept her virginity. She lost her virginity to him after she got married. So she's not a whore. She's not a hoe. Okay. She did everything correctly. They have 3 kids, 2 sets of twins that are 3, and then 1 5-year-old. What it is, KP, is she's got FOMO. She's in that nursing environment with all those whores, hearing their story, all the fun that they've been having, all the sexual encounters and date nights, and good dick Rick over here, good dick Bobby over there, and she's heard all this shit. Everything that she missed out on, she's hearing. She's in this environment with whores. So what she's in her brain is, my life is so bad. Here are these women living the single life. What's that? The Sex in the City life, and I want a part of that. And so now she's finding anything that she can to make it seem like she's more miserable than what she really is, make her husband to be more of a monster than what she is. This is why initially when I asked, why is she divorcing? Why is she leaving? Nothing bad was said until all the holes were poked in her story. And then now it's emotional abuse. And then I said, okay, what's emotional abuse? Well, he yells at her sometimes. Okay, nigga.
That's a nurse wife. That's what they do.
Right.
That's what they do. Bullshit.
I said, have you watched Archie Bunker, George Jefferson, Tina Two-Man Taylor, Carl Winslow? Like all these men at some point
that's not it.
like, come on, man. Like art imitates life. Like men are just grumpy, and we're gonna tell people to shut the fuck up sometimes. And then once I said that, it's well. I said as long as he ain't demeaning, saying you're a useless piece of fucking shit. You deserve to die. You're not worth a fucking another breath of life. Shit like that. Every day, constantly, all day, every fucking day over small, stupid, little petty shit. And then she says, "Well, yeah, he does that." Okay, bitch, why didn't you mention that?
It's not about what he said. It's not about what she said. You said she has an education. She's the nurse, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
She's around hoes that live in a whole life.
Yeah. It's normal, bro.
That's it. There you go. That motherfucker should have kept her away from them hoes.
Yep. Amen.
And was she a nurse before?
Because hoes, they were influenced of fucking young blood. They were influenced that woman to be a hoe.
It's impossible to get our head around this without both sides of the story. I mean, because he could be saying the same thing, that he feels like he was emotionally abused, and maybe they were emotionally abusing each other, and maybe he did start emotionally abusing her because he felt unappreciated for years. I mean, it's always, I don't want to say always, but it's usually takes two to tango. There's no like one guilty party. Typically, they're both culprits.
I agree. And Holly, every time I've heard this story go down like this, where it's petty shit. And then once you start saying, well, that sounds fucking petty, bro. Like nobody's falling for that sob story because your feelings are in the way. Then they start grasping straws and go to the extreme, Holly. And every single time you hear that story being explained the way that she explained it, and then you go and talk to the man, and you're like, oh, now I fucking understand. Yeah, she was a raging fucking bitch. She's resentful of him. And typically, what happens is, what I've seen a million fucking times is, like KP said, you put a good woman around whores. They start convincing the good woman that she's missing out. And then she starts building resentment. Now she brings that resentment home to her husband and starts being a raging, nagging fucking bitch. And then the husband fucking responds. That's typically how I see it.
Was she a nurse before marriage? She said she kept fighting her virginity.
Yeah, she went to college and got her nursing degree and stuff. And she's a nurse, yeah. So she did that in her younger years, yeah. But it sounds like they married at an early age. I think she said she was like 18 or close to that, super early. But kept her virginity, gave it to her husband underneath the umbrella of marriage. They had children together. So it sounds like she's done everything right. She sounds like she's a good girl, and like I said, her mom sounds like she's a good woman too. They don't sound like bad people. But again, I've seen the situation play out. They get around these fucking, and it's the same influence social media has. These women start scrolling, endlessly scrolling, thinking, oh, my life sucks. Look at how great these women's lives are. I want to be like these women, and then they create fucking problems and find a reason to fucking leave. That's just that's what they do.
You know what's been lost is when you're saying, oh, then they get around these hoes. Okay, that I understand that. But what I think is lost is the value for women to embrace sacrifice. Like now there's a wave of feminism which says we ain't got to sacrifice shit, right? You got to clean half the dishes, you got to do half the diapers, you got to do all this shit, and they don't. It's almost like an anomaly if a woman actually embraces her traditional gender role, right? And with that comes sacrifice. With that, you shouldn't be complaining that you got to make dinner for your man and your kids. You shouldn't be complaining that you got to do the laundry. My husband never did the laundry, and I had to clean his fucking dirty-ass military gear all the time. You know that shit stank filled with mud.
Yes,
he come home with that Molly pack. I'm sitting outside in the middle of his truck bed, just squirting that shit off. Why? So he can spend quality time with the kids. Because he was gone he left to go to work at 4:00 in the morning to get his workout in, so he's ready for his Marines to come on deck at 6 because they muster at 7, and he didn't get home till 9:00 at night. Right? Do you see it? So like, that's his role. So I feel like young women, they don't understand, and they've lost the understanding that being part of a woman, there should be a core part of you that is about sacrifice, and I feel like young women, that's been lost because we all have become a society of convenience. Everything's drive-through. Everything, we can fix it quick. Deliver it to me overnight. I want this. I want that. And none of that says sacrifice. It says the opposite.
You know, and social media feminism is one of the most dangerous things happening right now. Or, you know, when men and women are living together, of course we're going to, fight here and there. What happened, woman is sad. She's still having a social media account. She posts some fucking emotional fucking thing. And guess what? There's a couple of cunts who are lining up to say, oh my dear Lord, what happened? You seem sad, blah, blah, blah. And now she's getting attention, and now she's getting involved. And then she's thinking, oh dear Lord, I'm actually in demand now. Fucking hell, there's so many dudes who want to go inside me. And then she starts resentment. And then she, as you said, she's thinking that grass is green on the side. Take the divorce, go back to the market, and then after 2 years, she understands men do want to fuck you, but they don't want you. And they don't want you.
Like I said, I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed, but she's got a good 70-80% chance that's where she's gonna land. Because that's where all these women. I'm sorry, man. I spent this last 3 years, bro, like picking these women's brains, man. I learned so much about female nature. I learned so much, and it's the same story over and over. And then you know what's the worst fucking part?
KP shares a lot with you.
No, but on a serious note, you know what the most heartbreaking stories I've come across is these women who have pretty decent husbands. Like I said, they're not perfect, but they ain't whooping their ass. They ain't gambling the mortgage money away. They ain't snorting coke every fucking day, whooping everybody's ass up and down the fucking hallway. They bounce on these dudes, and the saddest things I've heard, and I've heard this multiple times, is that they go out there and they start dating and bringing these men around, and their fucking kids get molested and fucking raped.
What do you send you, gentlemen's?
So that's what breaks my heart. And then I've talked to so many of these women who have been raped and molested because their moms did the same fucking thing to them. Brought these fucking men around, and these men end up sneaking into their fucking rooms at night, molesting and raping the shit out of them. And how much trauma that has fucking caused, man. That's the most heartbreaking part, is that these women over such stupid reasons are willing to risk their kids' fucking livelihoods, bringing them around these fucking demon men who they think are interested in them, and they're fucking not. I'm sorry to tell you, but there's a lot of fucking men out here who act like they're interested in these women to get to these fucking kids, man. And it happens all the fucking time.
The last, I think it's what, 70%? I think it's 70%, sir.
The worst part is that these women are in their 30s and their early 40s. They just take divorce, and they think that young men are actually going to get inside them, and they're prepared some demand. What happened is, you don't know, they're just dealing with Gen Zs. Gen Zs are getting pussies at the age of 30 now. Fucking hell, it's raining pussies for them, because women are degenerating, and these men are getting a lot of sex, and they don't value a woman. I've seen it. They're not going to do that. If you're leaving your partner thinking that, you're getting younger man and you're going to fucking, he's going to accept you. No, he will fuck you. I mean, men can fuck anything. I mean, hell, they're fucking dolphins and boats, right? But they're not going to sell that. You're fucking liability. If you have a kid, you're liability. If you're in your late 30s, you hit the wall, no. You're not a marriageable material after that.
Yeah, like I said, 30 years ago, Koala, you'd have a chance. But again, if she's working, she's got a degree, she's educated, she's got FOMO, she doesn't have the right attitude to get a decent stepdad. I'm sorry, but
men don't don't give a fuck about that degree. See, I don't give a fuck if she's so much rich or she has a degree. I don't give a fuck.
Right. But what I'm saying, Koala, is the previous generation of women were able to secure stepdads for their children and remarry and stay married for another 10, 15, 20 years because they understood I'm coming with baggage. I'm bringing another man's kid to the table that this man now has to show some responsibility for. Let me just shut the fuck up and stay in my goddamn lane and be thankful that this man took us on. That attitude don't exist anymore with these modern
Absolutely not.
My wife, I said that. Look, I had a 3-hour conversation with my wife's grandmother. She's old school, bro. Grandma Betty, we sat there, man. Sat there. Grandma Betty smoking a joint, fucking chill as hell. Cool as fuck, man. Telling me
And
about.
of course, she was correct about everything. Of course, they're the best.
Well, here's the thing. She divorced her first husband. All right? And she remarried. She's been married for 40 years to the same husband that she's with now. Okay? And he took care of them. He took care of the 3 kids she brought along with her. But this woman has an attitude of humble. She serves her husband. Whatever he says fucking goes. Like she didn't approach that man with an attitude, well, I got this and I got that and this is how I'm gonna do it. No, she said, I know I'm coming to the table with 3 fucking kids that aren't yours. Let me shut the fuck up and be humble and be appreciative of the fact that you're taking us on. And they're still married to this day. But when I asked her, I said, why did you divorce Grandpa Mac, your first husband? She said, well, first he was cheating with every damn piece of pussy on our side of town. He said the babysitters would come over to babysit, and he'd be like, oh, I'm going to take the babysitter home, and he wouldn't even come back. Okay? Like, this is the type of shit he was doing. She said, I didn't give a fuck about that. Okay? She said, but once he started spending money on these women, and we were facing foreclosure, and bills weren't getting paid, and he was gambling the money away and doing all this, and I was forced to go to work to pick up that slack from his mismanagement, she said, you can't have both. You can't have fucking both. So she said, I bounced. And I said, I agree with you 100%, Grandma. 100%. You can't have both. But even this man was out knocking boots with every motherfucking piece of pussy that walked by. And she still fucking stuck it out. She didn't leave until it was a point where now you're about to bury our family in a hole because you're just being completely fucking irresponsible. I'm fucking packing my bags and we're fucking out. So this older generation of women, and even this older generation of women, they still understood what was needed. This new generation of women, they can't secure another man because they don't have the right fucking mindset or right attitude. They think they can come along with 3 fucking kids and still dictate and still run the fucking show. Well, any man that's worth his weight in gold, he ain't gonna fucking tolerate that. The only man it is gonna be some spineless fucking simp beta, and you're not gonna respect him and you're not gonna want him. You're gonna be right back in the same fucking boat.
They're entitled. They're so much entitled that they start giving you a real man definition that you have to step up. If you're not stepping up for my kids, you're not a real man. Fuck off. If I have an offspring, I'm gonna pay for my offspring. If that's not my offspring, no, never.
Sick. That's the reason why I didn't remarry, or I didn't. My front door wasn't a turnstile of men coming in and meeting my children after their father passed away. My children, they have met one boyfriend, one man.
Looking forward to it.
They only knew him as a friend before they understood, like, he was coming over for dinner a lot, but never did he ever spend the night underneath my roof with my kids there, because we were not engaged and we were not married. And that was the precedent and the standard that I took my vows with my husband, my late husband, and I wasn't going to throw that morality and foundation that we, made these 2 beautiful children together just because now I'm single, right? That would be totally hypocritical. So that's the reason why. But was it easy? No, it wasn't easy, but I wasn't looking for a replacement. I looked at it as like, okay, I just gotta suck it all up and just figure it out. I wasn't like, oh, can he take care of me? Absolutely not at all.
And here's the thing too, KK, in your scenario, you lost your husband by means that were out of your control. So men are gonna look at that and understand and say that wasn't her fault. They're gonna look at, okay, while she was with her late husband, she held it down. She did everything she was fucking supposed to do, and she lost him out of means that were outside of her control. Women in your situation, KK, you guys have a fucking fighting chance. But when a man hears, okay, because the conversation is going to come up. We all have it. Everybody knows. We try to act like, oh, don't ever discuss past relationships and don't, like, we all fucking do it, bro. We all fucking have the conversation because we're curious. Why are you in the
How much trauma or whatever
why are you
bullshit
singling on the
people
bar
manage to fucking
kids or previous relationship or previous marriage or whatever? We
got
always
no
want to know.
views, two
We always want to
views.
get some type of detail. And when the story is, I divorced my husband. Okay, well, why did you divorce your husband? And that man hears it's petty shit, petty dumb shit. Oh, immediately it's gonna be more fucking fun. So women in her position, I would say, are different than in your position, and I do respect and I know where your values are. I know you ain't playing no games. You ain't putting your fucking kids at risk like that. But KK, your situation, like I said, outside of your control, that's anybody's gonna look past that and say that's not her fucking fault, you know. Oh God, this is nuts, man. This is crazy, bro.
This is not a good birthday conversation. Why did I do this to myself?
Whose birthday is it?
It's mine.
Oh, happy
Yes, Holly's birthday, y'all.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Holly. Well, let me ask you, ladies, this. Were there times in your marriage where you got frustrated? You felt like you weren't getting the attention you deserved, or you felt like you might have not been getting the help you deserved. You got frustrated. Have you ladies ever experienced that?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? My husband was deployed all the time.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He was deployed sometimes a year at a time, 6 months at a time. Oh, he has to go out in the field training. Well, how long is that? I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I don't even know when the fool's coming home. Depends on if they pass the certification. It's like, okay. I always said the kids and I lived in California and my late husband visited, right? Because that's basically how it was. And I always try to flip the script on for my kids. And I said, listen, I never said, well, maybe he can come, maybe he can come. I never did that. Him and I, we would communicate. I'll let him know the time, place, what he needs to be wearing, what he needs to be bringing. I brief him ahead of time. And if he shows up like, oh my gosh, this is great. I didn't set my kids up to fail and be emotionally distraught. I set my kids up to emotionally prosper and be excited and appreciative of what they have, not what they don't have. They're not going to bitch and moan around about like, oh, well, Daddy couldn't come to my ballet recital, right? Oh, Daddy, you did see it? Oh my gosh, that's great, because I knew he was going to be gone more. Like, come on now. This is why I have a really hard time with civilian housewives whining, bitching, and moaning about their husband being gone for a work trip for like 2 or 3 days. I'm like, bitch, I went a whole year without sex. What the fuck you talking about? When he was deployed. Hello? I gave birth to my second child while he was deployed. And you're mad? He's in Philadelphia. It's just odd. Women in general now, like, the script has been flipped almost to a detriment to the family value and fiber and that kind of base. It's really being lost.
Yeah, I agree, but again, you know, this is a valuable lesson for men too, man. And, you know, again, this is a common problem you're running into when you're in a position as a man and your wife. You have to go 50-50 with your wife, man. This is what you're gonna fucking get. You should be. I think all men should be in a position to, before you take on a woman, you should have your own house where you're paying all the bills, right? You can hold that fort down before you bring a woman on. Because once you put your woman in a position where 50% of her income has to be, or 50% of the bills have to rely on her income too to keep that house afloat, you're asking for fucking trouble. Now you're giving that woman because she's going to be exposed to the Sex and the City life out that fake fraudulent Sex and the City life out there, and she's going to develop FOMO. I mean, this is a lesson to all men, man. When you have your fort set up and you can bring that woman in to where if she wants to work, she can, but she doesn't have to work. You have a little bit more leverage not is my man's holding it down. I'm working because I want to. Like my wife, she wants to go back to work, but she wants to go back teaching dance again, right? And something she's passionate, but she's not forced to work. She doesn't have to fucking work. Her income is not one penny is needed to keep everything afloat in the house. And because that leverage is there, there's no room for her to build resentment in that area. And I think a lot of men need to take heed to this. The minute you're a woman, you have to rely on your woman's salary. I say for the majority. I say it should be more than 30%. Your wife's salary shouldn't account for more than 30% of whatever those household bills are. Anything beyond that, you're setting yourself up for fucking resentment and failure, and this is going to be the fucking result, man.
And that's why my boyfriend makes more money than I do.
There you go. And you're happy with that. You can rest in your femininity.
Absolutely. I rest in it great.
Have you seen that comedian Akash thing case?
Oh, Akash? Yeah, the Indian dude. Yo, God,
right.
Embarrassing, bro.
Have you seen the wife?
Good night, Holly. Happy birthday to you.
Night,
Hope you have a great rest of your night.
Happy birthday. When I was watching the video, see, I was thinking about you. There's a woman. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you gotta start building some leverage, man. You know, again, it sounds harsh, it sounds like it's mean or whatever, but that's the only way it fucking works, man. Women can't love you unless they respect you, and if you give them a reason for them to lose respect for you, you're cooked, bro. You're done. And once a woman loses respect, you can't get her back. You can't fucking get her back, bro. You're done. You're done. Men need to start setting themselves up in a better position, man. A lot of this, I could say, men got to take accountability for this shit.
One thing, if your woman is sitting right in front of you and saying that she wants to suck your best friend's dick, who's also sitting right next to you, I think it's time to fucking get the fuck out of there. But he's just sticking around. On top of that, he just run another podcast with his fucking cunt friends and justify that, you know, even in the guy podcast, he was absolutely different. Why do you want to stick around with someone like that? Forget about man, woman. Any partner is disrespectful, spiteful in public, in your face saying that they want to fuck another person. It's time to move on. And that's a hoe.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, man. Yeah, I watched that. Me and my wife were watching those clips, man. Of his girlfriend on the podcast, just embarrassing the shit out of him, talking that shit about being with another man and all these fantasies with other men and shit. My wife sat there watching that with her jaw dropped down. She's like, how fucking embarrassed? She's like, how can you get in front of millions of people and embarrass the fuck out of your husband like that? She's like, that's fucking horrible. She's like, whatever fantasies you have, you keep that shit to yourself. You don't fucking embarrass your husband like that. You don't do that shit. You don't fucking do it.
You should tell you this if you were living in some kind of la la land and thinking that, oh, we never been not very, you know, homely, feminine. You telling you, see, this is the face of real Indian women today, the modern one. I'm telling you, you never believe me. It's like a standard thing, bro.
Yeah.
Men are sleeping around, and these fucking cunts are like, oh, we have been oppressed for fucking thousands of years. No, you've never been oppressed. You're just being a hoe now. And you want your men to be okay with that? Fuck that. And you know, that's a reason, Sikh. We have a reservation regarding marriage, right? I don't like marriage. I respect if you want to marry or someone marry. I don't support marriage to any woman now.
Well, I mean, the point of marriage is to have children and build a legacy as a man, bro. That's the point. Like, you know, again, that's that black pill shit, koala. You know, like it's because here's how I look at it, and take it with a grain of salt. But I think once you black pilled, you become a pussy. You just give it up, and I think that's outside. I think that's outside the scope of masculinity. Men don't give up. And I'm gonna have to teach a couple. Oh, go ahead.
Legal aspects doesn't make it very lucrative offer to get married. Legally, if shit hit the fan, you know that shit will hit the fan. I mean, the way we were talking about that case of that woman's daughter, she's going to take half of the pay and she's going to leave you fucking dry. So that also, you know, pushes you not to go there. You're right, you could be right, but that's an old school notion that if you're not stepping up, if you're not man enough, that you can't control women, blah blah blah. You're right, but legally it's becoming very tough. So
yeah, it's tough. But again, life is tough, Koala. Men don't give up. Men don't throw the towel in and say, "Fuck it, I give up." What you got to do is you got to start changing your vetting process. You got to start being more hardcore. You got to start moving with more intention. Like I'm trying to teach my buddies this shit because they're doing the same thing. Man, fuck these women. Man, it's so hard out here. I'm like, you sound like a fucking whiny bitch right now. Okay, so shit gets hard. You're just gonna fucking give up? No, you just gotta move smarter and work a little bit harder, man. That's all you got to do. But there's still good women out there. You just have to change your and this is why I encourage men, Koala, so much. Stop being pussies. If you want a wife, you want a family, you want to build a legacy, then you gotta fucking act like it. So when you start meeting these women, you gotta drill right down, go right for the fucking jugular of what you want. Because any woman that goes against anything that you have to say as far as what your standards are and what you're looking for as far as your legacy, kick her to the fucking curb, bro. She's not for you. And the quicker you realize that, you can just run through these women, run through them.
Yeah, I'm not
Boom. Ask certain questions, make certain statements. They start clutching their pearls and getting all squirrely on you. Bye, bitch. Blocked. Get the fuck out of here. And you move on to the next one. This way you don't waste a bunch of fucking time, man. And the problem is, guys hunker down on one woman, hoping that they can mold and shape her and change and this and that, or just, oh, okay, well, I can just accept her, because this and that. And the next thing you know, fucking 10, 15, 20 goddamn years goes by and your life's a fucking wreck and you're in that situation. But if you move smart, you're going to get the right answers. You're going to get the right responses from a woman. She's going to value you. She's going to value masculinity. When you mention things like, breaking up the family and running off with half the man's shit, and she's shocked and appalled and like, oh, hell no, that's fucking horrible. Those are the responses you want. A woman who wouldn't even fathom of doing that to her husband or breaking up her family. You'll start noticing the responses that you get. That's the one you want to start investing in.
You're right. You know that I'm actually with a girlfriend. He's quite feminine, right?
Right.
I don't want about that. We are just pretty much happy with current arrangements. It's just like that legal aspect of it doesn't make us very lucrative. We are happy. We're just living around, and sometimes we also talk about having kids. But you should do understand when it comes to marriage, like we both have I don't see any need to get married. We are pretty much happy with each other. Why we need to get this legal documentation? Tell me.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, and that's fair. And I hear a lot of guys going that way. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not objectionable to a non-government marriage, right? There's people all the time who get married. My biggest thing is, again, I don't think there's any point in getting married if you don't have children. I think children are the proper umbrella. I'm sorry, marriage is the appropriate umbrella for having children. I don't blame a man for not wanting to get married if there's no kids involved, because there really is no fucking point. But if you don't want to get the government involved, then at least have some type of religious ceremony, and then as long as you're living under the same roof, raising your kids together as one cohesive unit, I think that's perfectly acceptable as well, just to mitigate that risk. So I get what you're saying, Koala, 100%. I just don't like the complete black pill shit of fuck these hoes, I'm never getting married, fuck a family, fuck all that shit, because to me, you're just being a pussy. You're throwing in a towel and giving up just because shit got a little bit difficult for you. Me personally, I just don't respect that attitude.
Well, it's just a involvement of the government and the third party in legal documentation. That I don't find any requirement of. So we are living happy. We just should do fucking wash my undies. See, how about that?
That's
so
a good
I
start,
should
man.
doing everything.
She washing little musty drawers, man. That's a good start. That's a green flag, bro.
But Sig, I would say this, like,
oh, g'day, Pepe.
Hello. I would say when it comes to, you know that I'm somebody who likes to talk about controversial shit. I don't talk about women very much. It's not, I think, like, I'm rather biased. Like, I never had a problem getting women. Can you say, like, I'm super jaded? I'm not black-pilled, but do I have, like, strong feelings towards women? Sure. But the reason you really, to be quite frank, why you don't hear me talk about women very much is because I think women are like really fucking bored. Like, when it comes to the sex part and maybe having that connection with them, yeah, that's cool. But I don't care to talk about this shit in my free time. Like, it's super boring. And I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I don't understand the people. Maybe I could if I had a different life experience where people just like to talk about the opposite sex. Where I'm not going to say I'm like black-pilled whatsoever, but I do think that the quote-unquote red pill is black-pilling when it comes to both men and women. I mean, we kind of... I don't know how better to put it, but like when it comes to like, if for example, if you're somebody who's used to being around dogs, like how female dogs and male dogs behave, you notice extremely clear patterns, and you see it amongst humans, and there is, in a way, like I do think that there's no comfort in either the red pill, and of course black pill, that means you're beyond it, but I can kind of understand why some people are just like say, well, fuck it, I just drop out, I don't really care. Is it a quitter's attitude? Sure. But I completely understand why some people would just be like, yeah, no, fuck it, I don't want to play this game, I'm out.
Wait, okay. My lunchtime is over, sick. I gotta bounce, but I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, all right, take it easy, bro. All right, we'll see.
Bye, Kevin.
Yeah, and Pepe, I get it and I understand it too, but I think, and that's kind of the slippery slope of this whole red pill thing, because a lot of guys, they don't see the nuance in the red pill message. And because they're, and too, a lot of guys stumble on red pill shit because they just got through getting fucked over by a woman. So I equate it to, I call it the atheist syndrome, Pepe. When you come across a lot of atheists, they're very militant and they want to destroy everybody's belief in God because they realize this whole thing's been a sham and I've been lied to my whole life. So they get on this militant path to try to tell the world, fuck God, God is fake, this and that, all that, like, because they're just hot off the press of realizing, holy shit, everything that I base my life on and believe, I've come to realize it's a lie, right? I think a lot of guys have that same syndrome. They're stumbling across red pill right when they're coming out of a bad breakup or a bad relationship with a woman who's fucked them over and screwed them over. So they go 0 to 100, and then they miss the nuance of the message, and they go straight into the black pill, which is fuck women, fuck these hoes, fuck these bitches, and now you have a group of men who actually start to hate and resent women as a whole,
I agree. Like, I was on, the fuck is his name? Tommy Sotomayor, I was talking to him, earlier today, he had an X space, and what's funny is that, as you know, he's been, you know who he is, right?
Oh, yeah. I've known Tommy for over a decade, bro. I used to be on his platform. That's where me and KP met. We used to be on his platforms all the time.
Okay. KP's like shouted me out. It's like, oh my God, you've been on his show before. So, like, tonight, you kind of talking about it. You do have, God damn, I forget my original point.
We were talking about the whole black pill thing. And going down.
Yes. When it comes to the quote unquote red pill community, he was somebody who was saying that when it comes to a lot of the red pill content creators, which he's obviously been on, their podcast, whether it's Fresh and Fit, whatever. He was saying he didn't name names. I do not know who he's talking about, but he was saying that in real life, like, these guys are fucking simps. These are guys that were unsuccessful with women. They had, some kind of complex because of that, and then they adopt this ideology, and they were selling this ideology to people that also were not successful with women. And it was very black pilling. In other words, it's just like, oh, this is the human nature for women. You must fucking hate them. But he was saying that in real life, these guys were still Sims. At the end of the day, I obviously cannot, verify or confirm that that's a real thing.
Just came back to say, see, on Bondi Beach when the shooting was happening, did you see the video? Did you see the video?
What shooting?
Right, so it's a couple of parties killed people on Howden car on Bondi Beach, Sydney, right, Australia, terrorist attack.
No.
So, but the one thing I want to bring in thinking tonight is I have to come back to tell you.
Oh, wait, is that the one, the guy with the rifle? That was
right, the bolt action.
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah, I did see that. Yeah. Holy shit,
right.
I saw that thing, yeah.
Did you see the whole thing? So what happened is when they were just about to fire the weapon, there was two old couples. They just got in fire. The man actually got in fire, and he got killed after that because he was not strong enough. Guess what? There were two police women officers standing right next to this guy, and they could have taken him down with a pistol on the fucking hips. They refused to fire sick. And they just ran for their life. They were hiding. And when the police backup came up, and they were just saying, come up, and they were saying, we don't want to go. Literally, in the time of panic, that's how the women folks behave. You keep on saying that we are equal. This is not how we equal. People, men and women behave absolutely different when it comes to time of peril. And they did. They cried sick. Cried like little bitches. I mean, if there would have been a man with a fucking pistol on the hips, and he could fire the fucking terrorists. They did. Hell, see, a fucking guy without anything in his hand got the fucking terrorist. Snatched his gun. Did you see that too?
I think we all agree with you that women are not.
Papa,
for the most part, nearly as
they
capable.
froze, they cried,
Sorry, bro, my ass
and they
froze up.
cried.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't see that part. All I saw was him shooting innocent people, man, with his bolt action rifle. And literally the people filming it looked like they were within a distance. Where they did have a gun. They could have stopped. Dude, there were so many times they could have stopped that man, bro.
But the one who had the gun said, the women police officers, they ran for their lives, and when the police backup came up, even then they refused. They were crying. It's on the record. And there was one bloke without any fucking weapon. He jumped on the terrorist, snatched his weapon, and he's a hero. How about this? When it comes to peril, so women and men behave very differently. The bloke who, without any weapon, jumped on the terrorist, snatched his weapon, and then you have a woman police officer with a fucking pistol in the hands, throws it and ran away.
Even though it's anecdotal, I do agree with you. And whether it's combat, you can be some bitch on testosterone therapy that gets your fucking Ranger tab, but at the end of the day, you're still 150 pounds, and are you gonna take this 225-pound man who's injured and on your shoulders and run with them? No, you're not. And this idea that men and women are the same, it's fucking bullshit. The average woman is not. And of course, even if you look at the tail ends of the spectrum, men are gonna be overwhelmingly overrepresented for the males that will engage in a fight, a firefight with terrorists, and it's not a fucking job for women. I think you should have female police officers, but they overwhelmingly be male. Because it has to be. Just like being a firefighter. It's generally a lot harder to become a firefighter than a police officer. The physical demands are much higher. They basically have to have a lot of strength and endurance, and you can't. Either you can do the goddamn job or you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a fucking shit show. What happened there, and I just have to say this, like the goddamn gun laws in Australia. They legally acquired those weapons. He has I won't say large game, but he was shooting a bolt action rifle that fires rounds that are meant to take out animals that are much bigger than people. But he had to reload every 5 fucking rounds, and he had a non-pump action shotgun. I don't know. It's just fucking mind-boggling. But despite all of that being said, I still anticipate that Australia will now put further restrictions on firearms.
Oh yeah,
Just because they use a goddamn hunting rifle and a non-pump action shotgun, and they're still gonna fucking dwindle away at their rights. It is so fucking retarded.
Well, that's the thing too. Australia's always mentioned when we talk about gun reform and gun control and gun deaths and all this. Australia's always a number one fucking case study brought up. Well, they did a countrywide ban on guns. They did a buyback, and look, they don't have mass shootings. And here we go. A nigga found where there was a will, there was a way. Like you said, a bolt action fucking hunting rifle. I saw how fast that motherfucker was rocking that bolt back and forth.
and I was talking to so many people, and they were fighting with me. And I was like, dude, I promise you, this guy at the least. This is before we knew that these were legal weapons, and I was saying, like, no, I think these were legal weapons. The fact that he was holding his cheek weld and, operating the bolt the way that he was, he's obviously been training with that fucking gun. It's not something that comes naturally whatsoever.
Right, yep.
But yeah,
I'm reading 15 dead so far. He's being charged with 15 counts of murder. And that's so sad because as close as all that the cell phone footages I saw while he was actively shooting, they were close enough that if one of those people was armed and had a handgun, they could have took him out before he got up to 15. That's the fucking sad part. So they literally, the government paved a way for this man to be able to go out and create that type of fucking carnage. To get up to 15 fucking bodies. He could have been stopped at 1, maybe stopped at 0. But yeah, it's like I said, this is living proof. It just doesn't make any sense, bro. These gun reform laws make 0 fucking sense. Where there's a will, there's a fucking way. Motherfucker wants to do damage, he's gonna find a way to fucking do it. There's no stopping him, except other armed citizens that can fucking literally drop him right on the fucking dot. Oh man, what's up, Ray? What's up, Sean? Martine, 1984 Z. Merry Christmas, y'all. Welcome. If you guys want to come up, feel free to raise your hand, man. Come up. What's going on, Ray? Merry Christmas, man. Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to all the Jewish peoples. I am so sorry to hear that happened in Bondi Beach. What a tragedy. That bastard